Yo, Eric, we were over here on the paranormal hunt, and I headed over to this other building, and it's number 13. I was just telling Ron, my God.
All right, welcome everybody. If you're new to the channel, then you guys know the same routine. You got to hit subscribe, hit the notification bell for all the new people. If there's new people, and there ain't no new people, that means all the great people we have in the chat now, you got to spread the word out. You got to tell the world where to go to. You got to get these people in because they got to know we are the best. And why we're the best? Because we don't push our beliefs on anybody. We let everybody have an opinion of their own. We're just here to give you our opinions. Now, here's a topic about statues. Now, I got a bunch of different kind of videos, but we're going to start today with statues. There's claims of statues, eyes opening, eyes shut, hands flipped upside down. I got a few videos about that. There's stories about Mary bleeding from the eyes. I mean, there's a lot of stories about statues. And, you know, I'm not here. I can't tell you what's real and what's fake because none of us are there. None of us are in front of these statues to study it, to investigate it. You know, we're taking the word from somebody else who's doing that. And even if somebody comes out and say, hey, that statue's fake, well, you know, you need to question that guy too. Well, who's saying that statue's fake? Where is he getting it from? Where is his source? Because no matter what you do, Ron here could be catching a real UFO from another planet every single night and showing on his channel. There's always going to be people there and saying that he's falsifying, he's faking it. You're always going to have those people. And the question is, how those people know? If they're not there, how do you know? So you take everything with a grain of salt. Take everything with a grain of salt. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to I think we just lost Ron, but that's fine. That's not fine. Ron will come back. Ron will come back. So I'm going to play the first video. Okay. And I actually played this video before. Oh, there's Ron. There's Ron. So I'm going to play this first video.
My internet stuttered. Sorry about that.
No problem. This first video is paranormal investigators inspects scary black Jesus statue up in Texas. So this is a story. Like I said, take it with a grain of salt. One of you might have heard, oh, that was fake. But regardless, just hear the story and we'll talk about it. I'll get Ron's opinion on this first one. Here we go. Okay. What is it? Is it going to be problem day with videos? Huh, hold on.
Calling it.
Okay, that one plays. Okay, give me a second, guys. I'm going to remove that video. I'm going to re-put it back up. I don't know.
David, could be, maybe there's a possibility StreamYard's an issue because, like I said, nothing on this end. All of a sudden, I got kicked out. So it could be a little weirdness.
Okay, there it is. The sound's there. So that's just weird. But here we go. Huntsville, Texas.
These people here may know a bit about it.
All we call him around here is Black Jesus. So
I know that there are spirits.
Step into Oakwood Cemetery. Walk to the back.
The comforting cries.
And you will see him.
The Black Jesus.
I'll get a little nervous, I guess. But
he is shrouded in local lore. They say sometimes his eyes are closed, sometimes they are open. This statue was commissioned by a grieving judge and his wife.
The young boy, who was 5 years old, had his tonsils out in Austin, Texas, and he died on the operating table in 1923.
So they say that sometimes that the statue actually cries.
And they say the palms that normally face downward sometimes turn up.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
As for the color,
It's not black, it's bronze, and bronze turns dark, and the acid from the different trees turn it darker.
this burial ground includes the remains of men who lent their names to Texas cities, Houston, and Tomball. So much history,
She died in 1892.
and perhaps paranormal hijinks. We decide to wait for night. Paranormal investigators agree to come out. Meters go off.
It's unexplained that we're getting any milligauses here at all.
He says he has made contact with the child whose grave is marked by the statue.
Okay, back off, Raleigh. Is Jesus real? Step forward, Raleigh. Oh, that's a strong. Okay.
How do we know you're not moving those?
That's why I wanted you to do it.
I don't want it. But my photographer is willing.
Raleigh Powell, are you here? Can you feel? Yeah, I can feel it. Hey, Raleigh. The rods are definitely spinning on their own.
We ask about the statue. Will we see the palms turned up?
Right now. Okay. Will we see the palms up right now if we walk back there? Yes. We will see the palms up if we walk back there? Yes. Okay.
The milligauss jumped 35, so there was a real high energy.
We walk down the path to the statue. The palms are in the same position, downward.
Were you mistaken? Can you get Jesus to move his palms up?
Nothing happens with the statue, and then these instructions to Raleigh.
Go get a stick and break it for us somewhere. Step on it, jump on it, make a noise.
7 seconds later,
I heard something over there.
Did you?
a photograph showed what could be orbs of energy. As for the statue, it remained an image of peace. We left with no further incident.
Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid.
This historian says,
But I don't believe this statue moves.
and he is skeptical about ghosts, even little ones. He invites the living to visit this place of the dead, but please, he says, come in the right spirit.
Just hope people respect it and look at it as a thing of beauty. It's a beautiful statue.
Sherry Williams, KHOU 11 News.
Okay, I'm going to give my opinion, and then I'm going to ask Ron for his opinion. First of all, I don't really like when people are just too skeptics in a way. I wish they'd be a little bit more open-minded. But I'm going to give you my opinion, and I do want to say I do like the comment that was from Chrissy that this is a Mandela effect, and I'm going to tell you why, Chris. First of all, I don't believe that any statue is done by paranormal. It's done by ghosts. I'm just telling you my belief. I don't believe it has anything, because all the stories that I've learned, have seen myself, Ron have seen with the paranormal, it takes a lot of energy for ghosts just to appear, just to leave a handprint. The amount of energy that a paranormal ghost would need to make a statue change, bleed eyes, I just think, for me, I think there's no way. Now, if it is true, it's either a Mandela effect or it's got to be spiritual. Because take science out, take all science out. I just don't think a ghost and spirits have enough power, energy to do that. It would, if you're in the religion world, then I would have to say it could be a sign from the religious side that's causing, if it's real, or maybe it is a Mandela effect that it is just changing on you somehow back and forth. I'd rather take the Mandela effect over paranormal any day on the statue. Now, Ron, what do you think about statues?
I'm always one to believe that in this world, because we don't understand everything, that anything is possible. I always believe that anything is possible. Just because something to me sounds way out there or no way doesn't mean it doesn't happen or hasn't happened. But with stuff like that, more towards the Mandela effect on that. But my question is, with that, is there any other pictures of that statue outside of this video?
Not that I've seen.
Okay.
I didn't study at 100% of different videos, but there's different stories of people claiming that statue has. So there are people claiming that it is, and all the pictures that you do look up looks like what you see in the video. There is no picture of it hands down, or
Oh, so it's just pictures. All the videos and pictures are this way.
yes,
And everything about the other way is just words, stories.
yes.
Then I would think it's more towards the Occam's razor, Mandela effect, or something like, or misremembering, or something like that.
Yeah. It's like I said, you and I aren't there about it now. Now here's another statue story. Like I said, maybe some of these came out that they are known hoax, and if they are, please put that in the chat that you guys heard some of these stories are a full hoax. Hundreds head to Hobbs Church to witness crying Our Lady of Guadalupe statue, Guadalupe, whatever that word is.
Miracle. People are coming from all over to visit a Hobbs church after hearing its Our Lady of Guadalupe statue started to cry during Mass yesterday. News 13's Elena Mendoza is live at the Our Lady of Guadalupe church with the story.
Kim, people have been lining up all day and night to pray in front of this statue. They say hundreds have already been here and they're expecting many more.
It is a miracle, nothing short of a miracle.
Worshippers from across New Mexico and Texas are driving to see what many believe to be an act of God.
We immediately came. We had to see this for ourselves.
Alice Rivas heard about it on social media. She drove 40 minutes for the opportunity just to touch the statue and pray before it.
You just get all jittery. I mean, you just cry, you know. I mean, I just couldn't help it but just tears.
Parishioners say the tears started to fall on Sunday.
You're never too prepared for something like this. What he did is he wanted to call the bishop from Las Cruces right away to know what he needs to do because he's never encountered anything like this.
Father Jose Segura says parishioners noticed them after Sunday's noon mass.
He noticed that a lot of people were coming up to Our Lady and started, touching her, and that's when everybody started noticing that she was weeping.
Father Segura believes she's crying because of all of the recent violence in the United States and around the world.
You can even get a scent of her presence. You can smell roses in her tears. I've got a tissue that I've taken and wiped on from her mantle.
The faithful who witnessed it say it's nothing short of a miracle.
I actually saw how she was dripping, and that's when I took the video. And it's just incredible.
Marcelo Servin, who has cancer and lupus, also believes the Virgin has healing powers.
Ever since I got here, for some reason, I've been good. I've been out of bed, doing stuff around the house.
The father tells us the statue was built in Mexico and was on loan to the church. They will now try to keep it permanently. The Archdiocese of Las Cruces has been called in to investigate. Kim, back to you.
Okay, so again, I can't prove anything. We're not there to see the liquid out of the eyes. The guy said he has a napkin, but anybody can say they have a napkin as wet. But now, regardless if it's real or not, if somebody goes visit it and they have a belief that it's going to make their life better somehow, so be it. If that makes you happy and makes you feel kind of good on the inside, listen, sometimes it's no different than me watching a movie that I watch every year to make me feel better, makes me feel good. When I watch The Last Starfighter every year, looking up the skies, wondering if I'm going to be one day be chosen by the aliens to help fight Earth, makes me feel good. So if somebody touching a statue, I don't have a problem with that. More power to you.
Exactly. And my thought, that's exactly what I was thinking when I was watching. It's like, no matter what, real or not, if this is something that this group of people feel great or makes them feel good or whatever, so be it.
Yeah, doesn't hurt nobody.
And when you exactly, and when you think about it, right? Like, let's look at the synergies between UFO stuff and like religious stuff, right? So, like, you have experiencers, right? That experience something, whether it was a true experience, like something physical, whether a dream, whatever. And then you have people that say God came to them, Jesus or whatever. You'll have people saying, oh no, see, that's crap or this and that, and vice versa. But who are we to say anything? Like, if you don't know, you can't say anything is a fact, whether it's true as a fact or whether it's false as a fact.
Yep.
But the thing is, one thing I always am skeptical on is when there is money involved or things like that. That's the one thing that I'm not saying that I just look at, oh, things are fake like that, or my antennas are really up then. Like I'm really on the lookout because money does things to people, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a church is basically its own government too. They need money too. So if it brings in people from miles away, you know, I mean, we all hope it's the real deal. I mean, we all do. There's nothing more. But
and again, what Lynn said, I believe it was Lynn. It's what harm is it? Like,
no,
it's only good.
Yeah.
Like it's like if they're preaching stuff that's good and about like doing good. So what's the big deal?
As long as you don't decide as a person, I'm going to stop going to my doctors. I'm going to stop going to here. I'm just going to. That's different. You still got to treat yourself. But you know, I don't want to get too. I don't want to say something the wrong way. I don't want the channel thinking I'm anything.
The algorithm right now is crawling, going like this, looking for people. Say one wrong word and you're done.
And here's another one more statue video. This is called Christ statue weeping blood in Bolivia, in the country of Bolivia. Well, looks like I have to get rid of that one again and re-pull it up. So it looks like.
And again, hello everybody. I'm sorry. I know usually I type it in a million everybody's name, but
let's see here. Here it is.
Hundreds of Christians are flocking to a church in Bolivia after hearing reports that a Christ statue has shed tears. Crowds of faithful filed through the church in La Paz after a parishioner claimed to see tears coming from the statue during Mass. Worshippers lit candles and shed their own tears. Church officials admit it is the third time the icon has cried. The first instance happened last Christmas, then it happened again shortly before Easter. The 18th century statue shows Christ falling under the weight of the cross shortly before crucifixion. It's removed from its wooden altar every year and paraded through the streets of the Bolivian capital for Easter processions. For MSNBC.com, I'm Dara Brown.
So the reason I'm showing that because this statue stuff is all around the world, not just here in America. There's claims like this all around the world, and I don't know. I mean, we're not there to investigate it.
And first of all, the thing that threw me off for a second was that the same news reporter from the other story. And look, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's just like I thought it was like the same town or something, but. I was just looking at that when I got your email last night. So I was looking some things up. I just did a little bit this morning. I put one in the private chat.
Yeah, I actually have it. I was about to pop it up right now.
Yeah, fair use. This is fair use. So this is about a statue. And actually, the one thing is on the video, there's actual video that shows it. Okay. So
pop it up. Let me hit the mute. Here we go.
It's circulating on YouTube and social networks has shocked thousands of people around the world. In the video, we can see how a Jesus statue made of plaster slowly moves its head before the gaze of dozens of believers who were in the middle of a Catholic mass. This happened in Mexico, in the church of Santa Ana Tepetitlan in Zapopan, Jalisco, right in the middle of the sermon of the 7 words from the cross during Holy Week. The images are very clear, something that is rare in this type of video, so you can see very well how the statue of Jesus moves his head, leaning towards his chest, at the same time that the prayers of the people in the church are heard. The interesting thing about this religious statue is that it's more than 300 years old and is only brought out to the public twice a year. The rest of the time is placed inside a display case to prevent it from deteriorating. Perhaps this paranormal event had something to do with the age of the statue. Either way, millions of people have seen the video and it has provoked various reactions from the public. Many faithful believe that it is a miracle, a divine sign for us to change our lifestyles to follow God, while the most incredulous think that it's fake. On the other hand, Juan Antonio Guerra Lule, the parish priest of the church, affirms that what happened was a miracle. He also urges all the faithful to remain calm and see it more as a gift from God, a beautiful action. The parish priest adds that he did not have the opportunity to see the movement of the statue directly because at the time of the event, he had his eyes closed despite standing next to the statue, as shown in the video. He was only able to see the divine manifestation once his congregation showed it to him in the video after the ceremony. Other people also claim that the current miracle has a logical explanation. Since the statue is so old, it is possible that its limbs were broken and had to be glued together with leather hands. So, the religious movement we see in the video is the moment when the head detaches from the body a little bit due to gravity. Of course, it is not the first time that a statue has been recorded moving in the middle of a religious ceremony. Around the world, this fact scares and encourages both faithful and skeptics. What is striking about this video is the clarity of the images. This makes it really
I mean, it is kind of cool. Hey, go back right there. Where is it?
Now, the one thing I wanted to say something about the both of them, like this one right here, for some reason, I don't know why, but I think animatronics when I see that on this one.
I'm gonna oops. Here, I'm gonna slow that down so we can watch the head. Let me slow it down.
Yeah, it goes and it moves like kind of moves upwards.
There we go.
a religious ceremony. Around the world, this fact scares and encourages both faithful and skeptics. What is striking
I gotta say, that's neat. That's neat. I mean, it is neat.
I say it reminds me of animatronics, that one. But again, I go back to like, how I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that's a fact, but as somebody that deals with robotics and all that stuff, like I know that can be done, but I'm not saying that's the other one though is 300 years old. But did you hear what they said about that? Because there's I guess
or something that can be
a leather or something like that. Maybe it could have, and it just so happens that because it's not something that's always happens, it just happened. So it could be that whatever is connecting it, leather or something that they said was there, maybe it just gave way like a malfunction at that moment and it just went down. But it's still freaky.
Yeah, found that needle in the haystack, that one shot,
Yep.
People died to have that one shot of a clear shot of Bigfoot, have that 1-2 second shot, it is, like I said, who we are. And was that a good reason explanation when they said, the glue detachment? I don't know. I guess anything's possible, but they always say religion is really based on faith, right?
Yep. And I think, but if you think about it, a lot of things are built on faith and belief and all that. If there's nothing that you have physical proof on, it's basically belief. And that, and people could say, oh, but this was scientifically proven. But if there's no physical evidence of it, like a truth of absolute 100% fact, then it's just theories and all that stuff, or beliefs. And again, there's nothing wrong with having a belief or anything, especially if it's for the greater good or if it helps people or whatever.
Yeah. Now, if you guys do want to see a footage, not of a statue, this is a Bigfoot footage that is known to be fake. The group behind it is considered fraud and fake, and they admitted it before. So they're saying like taking the word of somebody, they caught the group fake, but this is what some of the trickery you could do in a way because of all the Bigfoot footages are all fuzzy. It makes it sometimes because every footage is fuzzy, it's easier to fake things because you just fuzzy it out a little bit. And here's one that's called it's called Creepy Bigfoot Peeking on Van Life. I actually got this off of Danny Stanton's channel, one of his channels that he showed. and of course he got it from somewhere else, but this is the footage. So out in the van, out in the vehicle, or some people say that's a tent. Car doesn't matter, but that right there is supposed to be Bigfoot. Now this is
we either always with UFOs we get pixelated like blur balls, and with Bigfoot we get flip phone cameras.
Yeah, really.
It's like there's a Bigfoot setting. You know what I mean? You could have 4K phone, and then there's a Bigfoot. Oh, let's go to flip phone mode.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing. Yeah, I understand Bigfoot from afar, and there is a theory that they can make fuzzy, but this one is known that to be faked. What did he say? Sadly, Nikki says it's BS. That's pretty good though. Yeah, it is pretty good though. But because we're not getting that super clear picture, it's easier to fake fuzziness. I mean, Ron will tell you, cameras, if something's fuzzy and everything is always fuzzy, he can take any picture and make it fuzzy.
I got a filter. I got filters in my video editing software. Everybody does, whoever has that. If you go into the plugins and filters, you could go to retro, vintage, glitch, pixelate, all that kind of stuff.
Rick Dyer, that's the group that's behind. That's the group did the fake dead body in an ice whatever chest. Rick Dyer's tent, and he told me in person it was fake. But I have him on my show. This Saturday. Really, that guy still does shows. It's weird because you are known to fake. He is known to fake. That there's no guessing. He admitted it himself, and you still go on shows. It's still amazing that I'm not here calling out people, but you are known to fake things, but people still watch you. It's so crazy, and it's amazing to me that wow, And Rick Dyer is going to be on. He's going to be on Harry Man's Hoaxes. And what's the name of your YouTube channel? Do you have a link already up?
I'll throw it in the chat. That's her name of the channel, Harry Man Hoaxes and Hoodwinks.
Oh, so that is the name of the channel. Okay.
I'll put it in the chat.
And I do have a question now, Harry Man. I don't know Rick Dyer, don't know him at all. But if you get a guest like Rick Dyer, and he knows that a huge percentage of the community knows you hoax things, does he make demands? What I mean is, does he say, like, I'll go on your show, but you can't question me on this being fake, that being fake? Is there rules that a person like this does to go on a show? I mean, musicians and actors do it all the time. Yeah, I'll go on. I'll be a guest, but you can't ask me this. You can't ask me this, but you can ask me this. You can't ask me my favorite color. Oh, right. Your favorite color. So, I think Danny looks like he put it in there. Here, let me click on it. Let's see here. There we go. That is the chat, and I'm going to share the screen to his page. There's his page right here. Harry Man Hoaxes and Hoodwinks. Rick Dyer right here. So Rick Dyer, 1 year later, Steve Crowes and Rick Dyer. So I'm going to put this individual show that he's doing Saturday. And first of all, thank you so much, Harry Man, letting us know you're doing this show on Saturday, because if I'm going to catch it. If I can't catch it live.
Nikki is a wait. It's Nikki Cologne. He is a she. It's a woman.
I'm sorry. Did I say he? Did I say he? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Nikki Cologne. I believe that's the user handle. Nikki Cologne.
My bad. Now, like, fuck you. I'm out of this channel. I'm sorry.
I love what Danny goes. He goes, Nikki is a chick. I thought he was gonna say Nick is a chick.
Well, come on. There's Nikki Six. His name Nikki, and he's a man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I apologize.
I hear
for
about
that.
this, her channel. Anthony was telling me, which is great, that I heard she calls them out, like all these fakers and all that stuff, which is what's needed. You know what I mean? You always need channels that like call out the BS.
Well, you know, and believe it or not, I would have more respect for the people that come out and say, "Yeah, I did it. It was a bad part of my time." Listen, this is I know this is a music reference. This is a music reference, but one time, they asked Nikki Sixx, "Hey, are there any tracks being used with Vince Neil's voice?" And he came out and said, "Yeah, we've done a few." Much I don't like fakery, even in music. I admire him coming out, instead of making people guess. We have used it from here to here when he doesn't have the voice. We only use it in a few spots. At least I appreciate that. I don't have to like it, but at least I appreciate Nikki Sixx coming out and said, "Yeah, they have used a few tracks with Vince Neil's voice." You know, I'd rather hear that than somebody say, "No, we don't," and then they get caught later on.
Agreed.
Because then now you have a choice to say, "I don't want to buy a ticket because I know they use some tracks." See, I appreciate stuff like that. All right. Now we have these are a couple shorts by a good friend of the channel. I think a lot of you know Long Island Bigfoot. He has a couple fun ones. And like I said, these aren't, wow, this is Bigfoot. These are just some fun ones. I always like what he did. So, you know what? I don't know. What I'm going to do is I'm taking off the videos behind the scene. Now I'm just going to be popping up when I want to, so we don't have that, oh, the voice works on this and the voice don't work on it. Let me see here. Here it is. I love this little short one by Long Island Bigfoot. I love it.
You got great stuff.
Real quick, guys, don't worry. These are short, so they're all under a minute, so don't worry. I don't say anything yet.
I love it.
I'm sorry, I love guys. What all it was is he's driving, and it just tells you how that man is always looking because he sees a Sasquatch sign. But think about this: he's driving on this side of the road, and this sign is facing cars going this way. So, what is he doing?
Look at the name of the street.
But the sign there, I just love it. I just like that man loves it. He sees it,
and it's Sasquatch Road.
I love Long Island Bigfoot. You know, he appreciates stuff. And listen, I love seeing signs, saying Sasquatch and stuff, because it tells you people really do truly believe this. To put a sign up and all that, that's kind of cool. Watch out, Bigfoot crossing. I think we need more of that crossing.
Period.
You know, one time, guys, you want to know how dingback some people are? Long time ago when God, what's that Sirius XM DJ? Oh, the crazy one, the 6'8", one of the most famous DJs of all time. Why am I drawing a blank?
I am too, because I know what you're talking about too.
Oh my God!
Come on, people, help us! Help us!
XM, Sirius Top DJ. Oh my God! Howard Stern.
Howard Stern.
And they're talking about there was a deer sign on a thing, and a lady called them and says, you know, why they had to put the sign right there to tell the deer to cross the street? How come that sign could be somewhere else? And this lady really thought they're putting the sign out because it's to tell the deers to cross there, not realizing that they're telling her that, no, we're warning you that deer crosses the line. But the lady really thought,
bless her heart,
really thought the sign was to say, why they put a sign there that the deer cross right there? Shouldn't they put it somewhere else? The deer cross somewhere else? And I'm like, it just makes you think that, wow, you know, people will believe in anything. Now, here's another little fun one from, this is a cool finding from Long Island Bigfoot. I love this. A lot of you probably like, what? I love this. Here we go.
Is Mike here?
Okay, so we found a geocache.
He found this out of the woods.
Clearly, right? It was hidden up in there, so we're not thinking it's a Sasquatch structure thing at this point, but look at what happens when you open it. Please don't take the monkeys.
Somebody left a jar of monkeys out there.
Cokeland, yeah.
You never know what you're going to find out there on a Bigfoot hunt.
Mike's crazy.
I love it.
Oh boy, we're gonna be going out with him soon, Anthony and I.
You know, I love his attitude. I love that even on investigation, you can have fun and see things. You know, that's what it's all about, having fun. You know, of course, you're going to bust each other's balls and stuff, but, you know, you got to do that. You got to have fun. Those are true.
Because, you know, I was showing you before the show, and everybody knows that we're working on the diorama. This is the little, let me see something if you can focus in. There he goes. This is the little guy I'm making. I just made him a little furry. He's still got a lot of work. I got to do some more work on him, but this is going to be the guy in the diorama. So it's coming along really good. He's getting there.
Oh, let me hit video. We're going to play DNA evidence proves Bigfoot is real.
Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, the abominable snowman, whatever you call it. There are several scientists, yes, scientists, they say they're scientists. They claim they have DNA evidence of its existence, and they say Sasquatch is part human. On top of that, the scientists are demanding all governments recognize the Squatches as indigenous people and protect their rights, and maybe even protect them from Bigfoot hunters like these.
It definitely wasn't human.
Now, I'm not going to play that part because that's off a TV show and it might be copyrighted. The reason I was playing that is they say the scientist says it is real. And of course, we want DNA to be real, but I looked it up like, okay, so who are these scientists? What are their names? No names given. Nothing. So I'm like, so because we hear the word a scientist, I have to automatically say, well, look, they got DNA proof. Listen, maybe some people do. I want proof. And they're saying, then they said in that comment, they said that the DNA that they have shows it is part human. Who, where, and how do they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Show about DNA. Who, or with Pie Island Research? Well, who are they using it against? What other DNA?
That's the equivalent of saying an anonymous source. Like, it's just to throw something out there and saying and using words, because you know the big buzzword for the last few years is science. Like, look at the science like that, and everybody's science, and there is absolutely nothing. There's no there. Otherwise, we would know about it. If there was like a scientist or any scientist that proven something, we would all know about that.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
If Ron, if you're a scientist,
it just validates their story more. That's all.
You caught the DNA, and you see, well, look, first of all, the DNA proves Bigfoot's real and it's part human. You would, like you said, you would have a book about it, a documentary about it. You know, you're going to prove to the world how you found the evidence, what you used it, what's it based on, instead of just coming out. But there's nothing. I looked up the story. I looked up the city where it's from, and there was nothing. And listen, if there's a group that has this information, fantastic. Well, where is it?
You know what gets me too? Here's one thing. When over the past, like they found hairs or this or that, and they run DNA tests, and they said, "Oh, this was from a bear, or this was from a human." Something's inconclusive. But what if Bigfoot shares DNA with like humans or something?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we just dismiss it as human, but it's really what from a Bigfoot. We don't know.
Nobody
Could be something from our past, just like there were Neanderthals and all that.
Exactly. I mean, evolution. Maybe somehow evolution went one way, and this part of the evolution went this way with some of the DNA that comes from the same traits. I mean, we don't know.
There are still tribes on this planet that still have not seen any of the outside world. And like there's some that have seen because we have to be what we do and just like violating, be rude and fly helicopters over them and all that. But I'm sure there's more out there that hasn't seen anything outside their tribes or whatever, so who they know their land better. We could probably walk through their forest and there could be 2,000 of them. We won't see one of them because they know how to, utilize their surroundings. So,
and everybody in the chat right now, if you're in the chat, if you have not hit that thumbs up button, please hit that thumbs up button. I notice with the great guys that we have here, that's usually from New York, Ron, and sometimes, Anthony. Anthony had a thing he had to do this morning. They get a lot of thumbs up. But when it comes to me, nobody likes to get a thumbs up. So if you're forgetting to put a thumbs up, because I don't mention a lot, please hit that thumbs up. Show Ron and Anthony that you guys love me just as much as you guys love them.
Yeah, please do. And if you can, I know it's difficult, like leaving a comment. It's like reading a newspaper and then going like, oh, let me go back and read that story again 3 days later. I know it's not going to happen, but all that stuff helps. It just helps in any kind of interaction on the channel. And also this cartoon, if you could share it out, please. I know I asked earlier, but if you could share it out on your socials, even if it goes to each other, it doesn't matter. Just hoping that somebody, trying to get some money into it because there's some nice plan for it and other stuff that's going on. It would be great to get us some exposure.
And let me tell you guys real quick, and then I'll got some paranormal videos I want to show you guys. Just so everybody knows, I do have episode 8 in my hand. Not in my hand, but I have it. Of course, we haven't done none of the voice recordings yet. And again, I'll say this again. It's totally different than the last one. How that one's totally different. So where you think it's headed to could be, but there's so many different changes in every single one. There's something in these for everybody. I bet you when I showed it to Ron yesterday, or maybe a couple of days ago, that there's a certain thing in there that he probably wasn't even expecting to be in it.
Yep.
You're like, where, somebody would say, where'd you come up with that? And that's the whole idea of having fun, just coming up these weird stories and stuff, just putting them together, because I don't want to be the traditional, okay, here's the vampires. Okay, we're going to end it with the vampires because that's the hot thing for the last 5-10 years. Vampires and zombies, I mean, here, seriously. And I know a lot of people like to hit on the hot stuff, ride it. I might ride some of it, but it's not the end game of it. That's how that's the only way I can say it without giving it away. So, know that. Now this paranormal video I'm going to show you, Ron. This is where you're going to have to. It's basically a storytelling of a police officer telling a story, and you got to imagine in your head. So it's that kind of a thing. I showed it long time ago. It's called "Police Officer Describes Ghostly Encounter at Poly Lockout." So like I said, this is more of a visual, but some of these stories are just as important. It's like books are important for a reason. When you read a book, reading information, you're reading somebody's story, writing it down. Not everything has to be in a documentary form and all that. A lot of these stuff does come through stories, and they're just as important as videos and everything else. Here we go.
Well, with Halloween approaching tomorrow, Honolulu police have a spooky story of their own. An officer telling of a story her partner told her of a ghostly encounter at the Polly Lookout. The story was put together by HPD, and they've given us permission to share it with you.
Yeah, guys, this was put together by a police station. Now, could they be faking the fake story? Of course. But I would think that, why would they? Wouldn't that just be embarrassing to your own organization? I mean, maybe they are, I don't know. But just take it with a grain of salt. But this story supposedly came from a police station.
One of the things that we have to do in District 5 is make checks of the Polly Lookout and ParanormalHighway. Also at nighttime, we have to go up there and lock both gates. So at that time, my beat partner was a blue and white driver. She was still a rookie. She said she was assigned to close the Polly gates that night. And most officers, they don't like to go and they don't like to, close the gates because it's so dark up there at the Polly Lookout. She said she pulled up to the first gate, and she locked that one, and she got back in her car, and she drove going into the Polly Lookout. But as she drove in, she saw something white. She remembered stories where officers would get into accidents because, they drive past this white figure. So she drove closer, and as she got closer, and it appeared to be a lady wearing a white dress. And she was like, oh, I better stop and ask to see if she's okay. So when she pulled up, and she started rolling down her window, but as she turned out and looked out the window to start asking the lady why she was there, she felt this eerie feeling in the blue and white. And that's when she looked in the rearview mirror and she realized the lady was sitting in the backseat of the Corvette. I remember her telling me that her grandmother always told her if you do encounter any kind of spirit or anything, you need to stay calm and you need to talk to the spirit.
Yep.
So as she's driving, the lady's in the back seat, she kept talking to the lady.
Oh, what are you doing out here, Auntie?
So to stay calm, she kept talking to the lady. And the whole time, the lady sat there, said nothing, and was looking down. When she got to the second gate, she got out, quickly closed that gate, and she knew that spirit was still in the back seat. So she got back in and she continued to talk to the person. Oh, I don't have anything to offer you right now. I'm just doing my job. I have to lock the gates. I have to drive around. And I do have to go through the tunnels, but, I cannot take you all the way to Kanyohi, to Kailua, because that's out of my district. But, I want you to be safe. And she kind of told that to the spirit. And the whole time, the lady sat there, said nothing, and was looking down. So as she was driving down, she went through the tunnels, and she just felt this overwhelming peace. She just felt at peace. And then she looked up into the rearview mirror, and she noticed that the lady was gone.
Okay, of course, of all stories, you take that with a grain of salt. But I love the message there that if you're with the spirit, be calm, don't scream, don't yell, be kind and talk, because who knows, maybe she was like scared or shit, or maybe this ghost would, I'm not saying the ghost would do something, but she was calm about it. And what's interesting about the story, it wasn't where, she saw this thing, then it disappears. This thing rode in the car where she made a stop, hit the gate, and was still there until it disappeared with the tunnel. So the amount of energy that spirit would have to stay that long with the police, or what if technically, Ron, it wasn't a ghost, it was their guardian angel? I mean, I don't know what if you believe in guardian angels, who knows what they look like? Because I've heard stories about people meeting spirits. Like when I thought I saw mine, it was really quick. This one stayed with her.
Now, I know I'm laughing because I'm looking at Paranormal Pixie. It says, a lady in white story. Like there's so many. There's always the lady in white.
But
now,
is it because the color takes a lot for energy? Maybe white is the less color for energy wise. I'm just speculate.
And again, I don't know. Anything's possible, but like with that, it's a good story and everything, right? And you know what gives it a little more, make it a little more valid is because it's a police officer. But my only thing is, with that being that it was the news reporting that story, is like if the lieutenant was willing to go on record with all that, like most of these cars have cameras in them and all that, like you would think they would show even her talking or something like that. Not saying showing the spirit if they see it or not, but at least like, oh, the night she was driving and see her there in the car talking to herself or whatever. You figure that a little something like that, but maybe they're not allowed to. I don't know. That's where my mind, I try to think of both ways, like, oh, that's cool, but then this bothers me. You know what I mean? So who knows?
Now,
again, though, it's not a bad story. She didn't say nothing's happening or this and that, so nothing for me to be upset about or anything like that, right?
No. Like I said, you at least take the message out that be cool under pressure. Be kind. Yep. Because what do you got? First of all, what do you got to lose? I mean, you don't be Zach and get scared and run out 20 feet and say, "Oh my God, do you guys feel that? Did you see?" You know. Now this one, since I picked a story because Anthony and Ron, they're paranormal detectives. So this video is called "Investigated by Paranormal Group for the First Time at a Hospital." So I'm gonna play this and see if there's anything that they're going to use that they're going to use. Here we go. Let me see. Reported haunted hospital investigated. Okay. One of those hospitals.
Welcome back. It is now 6:14. All right, everybody. We have saved the best for last. A haunting in South Texas goes inside a building never before investigated. Is there something haunting in the old Wilson County Memorial Hospital in Floresville?
Eric Hernandez, digital journalist Adrian Garcia, along with the San Antonio Paranormal Investigation, spent some time at night inside, and this is what they found.
Don't really want to stay in there. You kind of want to walk right back out.
But Luke Lambert had to ignore the sounds and move past his fear last summer. He spent about 3 months cleaning the inside.
Welcome back. It is now 6:14. All right.
Journalist Adrian, stay in there.
Last summer,
now, first of all, if he's a private investigator, I don't know why he's saying that why is he going in there? Listen, if you're a private investigator, you want to get into places like this. Now, to me, that's a little acting, because if somebody goes, Ron, Eric, you guys can have this abandoned hospital, you goddamn straight will go in. I don't care if there's even no known ghost there. A haunted, a run-down hospital where people have died.
That's why you become a paranormal investigator for moments like that,
He spent about 3 months cleaning the inside of the Wilson Memorial Hospital after it was badly vandalized. What he came across inside was also disturbing.
It looked like rituals were done on the walls. There's brown marks on the walls that look like bloodstains.
With many wondering in the small town of Floresville if the place was haunted, we decided to find out for ourselves.
I think something's moving in here with us. I'm getting...
Yes, I just got chills. Inside here at the hospital, it is very hot. There is no airflow. We're actually at the entrance of the emergency room right now, where our psychics are telling us they were picking up a lot of energy in this area. While inside the operating room, which is next to the ER, our audio recorders picked up what...
I want to ask you a real quick question, because Ron, you're pretty good with electronics and stuff. Even though they said there's, it's middle of the summer, I know Texas is hot, and the power is off, and they said there's a lot of energy. Can the heat from Texas being so hot or something somehow generate some kind of energy for these devices to pick up? I'm just curious.
Texas is hot and humid as hell, like that. No offense to any Texans, because I've been down there on business a bunch of times. Well, at least in Dallas, but in Houston, especially in Houston. But yeah, of course it could generate electricity like that with all the moisture and everything in the air. But here's the thing though, with if I don't know where they're going with it, like if they're gonna have EMF detectors or anything, but that's always a possibility. But there's a difference with EMF. That's magnetic fields. I don't know. I think so.
Let's see.
Look what storms do. How they create lightning and all that, right?
Yep. Let's finish it.
Maybe the sound of a heart monitor. Later, while walking around, Gene Rittenauer from San Antonio Paranormal Investigations picked up the voice of a man.
I'm walking by your room and you want to talk to me. Please say something. Right here? Did you say right here?
That same deep voice would return inside the room where Lambert told us he would hear scratching on the walls and where there were signs a ritual may have taken place.
All right, I'm going to leave this room in 5 seconds.
Despite everything we encountered, Deborah tells us that nothing dark or evil was inside, just the spirits of past nuns and patients who had passed inside. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Now, like I said, those kind of things where you're making sounds, take those with a grain of salt. But it was kind of cool. While it was, I guess you could say, they found the word that matching the questions they were asking. You know, we're gonna leave now. It said goodbye. That's where sometimes you got to think, oh, maybe
it's an intelligent response.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not just a random word, you know. And the one thing is for sure, when Anthony and I went out that day, like I said, I'm skeptical on things, but I'm not a skeptic, like a hard skeptic that I just don't believe things. But I don't believe things blindly. I always say that. But when I went out that night, there were some weird things that went down. And then you see what you put on camera. And like, I believe there's absolutely stuff out there. I think in dimensions. That's how I think. So, you know, I think I believe a lot of this stuff, you know what I mean? But, and I don't believe a lot of stuff because there's so many people with internet nowadays. Everybody wants clicks and views, but like we've caught EVPs there. We got them. You know what I mean? When I know for a fact nobody's around. And I know people were saying, oh, how do you know there wasn't somebody sleeping in the place and doing this and that? Yeah, okay. But I really don't believe that was what went down. You know what I mean? And we got it. Like Anthony's asking, and you hear the woman laugh, like a laugh just come out of nowhere. And just strangeness. A lot of strangeness. So
in the chat, if he's still here, UFO Man's in the chat, and if you guys know, he has a fantastic channel. But if you didn't know, just in case, if you didn't know, UFO Man played Doc Brown in the cartoon. So I'm not gonna play the whole cartoon, but I'll play the part where Doc Brown, and because I just want to say that UFO Man did a banged up job playing Doc Brown and making it his own, not try to copy exactly how Doc Brown talks. He made it his own. Listen to him play Doc Brown.
They're like Jack Crow from John Carpenter movie Vampires.
That's a good movie, but the sequel not so much.
Yeah, Bon Jovi was bad medicine in it. He should have been like living on prayer.
I hope the parts work this time he sold me, because I don't want the same mistake that happened to Marty.
Hey, Doc, we're over here.
What kind of doctor is this guy?
He's a scientist, physicist, blacksmith.
I want to check this rash that I got.
Connor, shoot the sky. That will create an electrical thunderstorm.
Fire away. You guys will be my greatest achievement. Let's send you back to the future. Now all of you get into the car and go 88 miles per hour.
It's like that song, I can't drive 55.
Great Scott, not 55 miles per hour. You need to hit 88 miles per hour to.
I just want to say he did a terrific job, and just he's awesome. And if UFO Man, if you're still in the chat, I got to let you know that you're going to have to, once I get the line out to you, you're going to have to record me one more line, because you do have a guest appearance in the next one. You have one. It's only one line, but we know you'll knock that one line out of the ballpark. So
he did it good though. His lines.
He did it good because listen, you know, he had to do behind the scenes. He wasn't on with us when we did a StreamYard, right? So when I did that line 55, when he mentioned no, not 55. I mean, it's almost like we recorded it together. You know what I mean? He responded to me like
he did it. Yeah. Yep.
it was good. So, and I appreciate stuff like that. So that rash gets me every time.
I know. It's just like when Anthony says that, I can't help it, man.
And actually, Lynn, that was a last minute where like, I need another line. Hey, Anthony, what about you saying, I want to get about you getting your rash checked out because you were just hanging out with that Blue Lagoon creature from the Black Lagoon. Now you got a rash. So sometimes when you do stuff like that, when you're out there researching investigations, things you think you have planned, then you're like, you know what? This might work better. This might work better on anything you do. Investigations, paranormal investigations, UFO investigations. Sometimes you got to be willing to make those changes on the spot. And sometimes you just got to go with it because you don't know what works and what doesn't work. You just hope for the best and roll the dice. Somebody asked me yesterday that goes, so Eric, you think the final one's going to pull everything together? I go, well, everybody's different. Everybody has different ideas on how to finish a season or something. So for half the people might like it, half the people might don't. You just can't worry about that. You just got to do what you like. And hopefully people will get your kind of humor because everybody's humor is different. Everybody. I'm sure if Ron and I go to the same exact building on a paranormal investigator, he would investigate it differently than I would. There's no right or wrong. It's just, some works better than, so it's all that. So Ron, what do you got? You always got something coming up. What do you got coming up?
Well, today, because it was by user request, I'm going to share a photo. Because, I've been covering the Artemis thing, right? I've been covering the Artemis mission the whole time. So today is the last update before I'm going to share this with you.
See?
This is the last update before the splashdown on Sunday. So
see, I swear Ron does this stuff on purpose.
There you go.
Because again, he's got this on Pacific time at 2 p.m. At 2 p.m., I'm on the road picking up my daughter. He never plans his shows in the middle for me.
Wait. First of all, that's NASA doing that, right? But
I know.
So NASA Mike will be hosting it today at 5 p.m. It'll be a short. Stream, probably. I don't know. It's their briefing, but it's the last one before the Orion spacecraft comes back down to Earth. So that's today at 5. And then tomorrow, I do a weekend warm-up show at 7. That's where we all hang out and everything. I'm probably going to do more diorama work with the Bigfoot diorama because then Saturday we have the diorama. We're making a Bigfoot diorama.
And that's the one.
Yeah, and that's just all of us hanging out, and then I move a camera around and whatever we do, whatever we want.
Actually, I love it when people do shows like if I'm driving because I put my phone up. I mean, I don't stare at while I'm driving, but I listen to it while I'm driving. So they're my entertainment.
Yeah.
So like last night, he did a show at 4:00, and I was at a physical therapy. Then I went downtown Seattle. I even, for fun, I go, I'm going to show Anthony a picture that I really am downtown. It was all for fun.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, and it's great. And because yesterday we had a good show on my Space Talk show. We had a good one with Jim Goodall, and Anthony. There was some nice topics, and Jim always knocks it out. So it was just a good I like having those conversation shows, just good ones like that. And
he has a lot of experience. He's been there. He has a lot of great experience. A lot of us don't have, and it's cool to get that point of view.
He does, and that's why I like to have the option of having Michael Stratt on when he can, but now with his new job. So, but I just got the 100% confirmation. Next week, we're going to have that Jared Murphy I told you will be on next week's Space Talk at 7 p.m. So he's a really good guest. He's a smart dude, you know what I mean? But that'll be an interesting show. So he's a good guest And then Saturday, like I said, can you bring up that? Do you have that one? Just the one from Saturday.
Oh yeah, I'll re-get it.
Sorry, I just had it. I'm terrible with it.
Here, let me get back to your screen. Here, the one for Saturday is right here. And
No, the next one. That's Friday. The weekend warm-up.
This one right here, right here.
That one right there. Diorama Bigfoot. So we already started that. That's what I was showing you before. And since last Saturday, whatever progress we made last week, I printed out a whole bunch of stuff, more trees and all that stuff. So we'll be adding a lot more. So we should be able to finish it, if not this weekend, the following weekend. And then we'll make a second one. But I'm thinking about, I know I'm going to definitely give one away. We may auction one off and we'll figure it out where the money goes or whatever. I don't know. I don't care about that part too much with the money thing, but I like doing them, you know?
Yep. And let me show you guys how easy something is. So, watch. I'm going to go to this channel here, right? You guys see this channel. I'm going to show you something that's so easy to do that anybody could do this. You scroll down here. See that thumbs up? Bam! It's done. That quick. Yep. That's all you got to do.
Oh, and while you're there, Eric, see the bell next to subscribe? Hit that bell and hit all. Bingo. Wow. And then when you do that, you'll just get whatever like that.
Wow. See, guys, see how easy that is? And guys, and the notification, what that does is it actually tells YouTube algorithm that people want to see this. Even though it's not out yet, it tells them. So when it comes out, it's saying that we're going to push it out to more people to catch it live because yeah, you can put the thumbs. Now, when you watch the show, you want the thumbs up. That's important. But the notification is what tells the system, like, people are waiting for this. And when people wait for something, that means they really care for the content. It's not that the content is on. They care enough to be notified by it. So that notification bell is some ways more important than the thumbs up. The thumbs up only becomes important during the show to tell that people did enjoy it, to send it out more. But the notification helps out where to show to more people while you're live, they can check it out.
And here's something so you could understand something, because recently I go over my studio analytics big time. I'm a data dude, and I was recently looking at a video, and it said that, like, out of mine, I got 1,300 subscribers. It said 178 had notifications turned on. It's 178 people, like, out of 1,300. Now, pretty sure a lot has that turned on, but here's the problem. YouTube tells me in the thing that when you turn on notifications here, now when you're on your phone, some people turn them off on their phone because it may annoy them or they don't want this or that. When you do that, you turn off. It doesn't matter what you do on the desktop. The mobile overrides everything like that. And I don't know why they do it like that, but that's YouTube. So if you don't turn them on your mobile and you have them on over here and you turn it off there, it screws everything up.
Well, let me show you guys. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to show you guys something real quick that sometimes the analytics doesn't make sense. And I want to show you guys. I want to show you this, Ron. I think this might trip you out. The King Tut of the Lost Ark, episode 4 cartoon. Okay. 1,755 views. But my likes, look at it, 2,386 likes. Why that's strange is if I only got 1,725 or 1,755 views, how can I get 600 more thumbs up than views?
No, here's something though. I'm glad you brought that up because I just told something to Anthony. I have a feeling something's going on YouTube because I recently had a video that had 210 likes. Then I noticed I had 186 likes. Then it went down to 140 likes. But it wasn't that I was getting thumbs down, like they were changing their mind and now I was getting thumbs down because, see, we could still see the thumbs down on our end. I didn't get none. It was 100% thumbs up, but it went from 210 to 170 something to 140, and I think it stopped at 109. So something's going on. You know what I mean with it. I don't know what it is, but I noticed that. You know what I mean?
And again, this is also kind of strange, not strange. So beneath it, the cartoon beneath it, 222 views, 100% likes. But technically, if my 2,386 likes is more than 1,755, shouldn't that percentage be like 145?
Yeah. Here's a problem I have, though, and please, everybody, go to it, that it says 0 comments. It says 0 comments, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it says 0. You could have 10 comments, and it'll still show you 0.
Yeah.
Like it'll literally say on the YouTube page 0 comments, and you see all these comments.
Well, you know, you're Ron, you're correct there, because sometimes after I'm done with the show, usually when you get a comment, your little red dot comes on top, and I'll get no red dots, and I go into my comment section in the studio, and there's 10, 12 comments.
Yep.
I didn't even know they were there, because usually I like to put hearts, click on people so they know that I read their comics. Comments. I read everybody's comments. I read everybody's.
Look, your episode 7 right now. When you just showed us, was that live or was that a screenshot?
That was live.
It says 0 comments, right?
Let me pop it back up.
The one that premiered on the 7th.
YouTube studio. Let me go to content. That one says 40. The one that has 0. Let me show you. The one that shows 0 is the one that I was combined. I combined 3 of them together.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So it's that one.
No, you're
actually,
right.
Brand new. Or no, that's the trailer. No, it's not the trailer. That's. Okay. I wonder it's because I moved that to private.
Well, just so you know, when you leave unlisted, you keep your views and all that stuff. When you move it to private, you lose those.
Yeah. The only reason I moved that to private because I'm going to be mixing all 8 together, and I didn't want one with 3 mixed together. I wanted just the straight episodes until I move all 8. So that's the only reason I took that one and moved it to private, so people won't get confused. When I come out after the 8th one, then it's going to be all combined. So, guys, that's the show today, and I hope every single one of you enjoyed. I like tackling some of these weird off things like the statues and all that, because it does make you think. Because if the statues do come out to be real, that's a real head scratcher.
Hold on, I just want to say something to Danny Stanton. I understand, but the notifications aren't just for every single channel. You could turn on notifications for individual channels. You know what I mean? So there's not like the notifications for every single channel like that covers it.
Yep.
But I hear you. I just knocked everything over. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
So beyond that, guys, we'll see everybody later.